Don't mom me. No.
The reason people are saying you abused your daughter in that video, even more so in the follow-up video where you say, tell them that you're not traumatized. Let me explain to you why people are saying that, why they are dragging you, calling you a B, and even calling CPS on you. I just went through this with my daughter last year. I'm going to speak directly to you, mom, in this video if you see it. And if not, there are other mothers who are doing the exact same thing. Instead of getting to the root of the issue, you chose ineffective, abusive tactics, including embarrassing her, humiliating her, to try to teach her a lesson. She did learn a lesson. She learned that if I don't do what someone wants me to do and be how they want me to be, instead of following my heart and my passion, then I'm going to be abused one way or the other. And so I don't get hurt and I don't hurt them. I'm going to be who they want me to be for my entire life, for the rest of my life. So we will never know who your daughter truly is because she's being shaped through abuse. It's the same thing with the other TikTok, YouTube family where the mother just says she looked like a pig or she's eating like a pig, a little girl, and fat shaming her. Even though that's a reflection, that's a whole other story. You'll never know the essence of who this person is. And we're just using this as an example since you put it out there. But this is for any mother, any daughter who's dealing with this, right? Then we grow up as adults not knowing who we are. But one day she's gonna grow up, then she's gonna wake up and she's gonna realize how she's been treated. I went through this with my daughter just last year when she was focused more on beauty versus education. And that's specifically what you said in your video. She's more focused on beauty and looking good and her looks than she is with education. Let me tell you how you should have handled it. You should have used wisdom instead of the tactics that you used. You have to be in tune and in touch with your daughter, but that can't happen until you're in tune and in touch with yourself. And that's really what's being magnified here, not the daughter. You are, and your issues that you are projecting onto her. She's a teenager. That's what they do. They're in their phones and they're in their cameras, making videos, looking at themselves, self-centered. That's what they do as teenagers, right? We'll get into the negative behavior you talked about. My daughter almost didn't pass high school last year because she was doing the exact same thing, focused on beauty instead of education. But now she's a licensed cosmetologist at 19 and she has her last certification. Bag, bag, bag. So this is what you should have done and how you should have handled it. You were so busy focused on her behavior, which, okay, she'll stop doing that, but it's not going to teach her anything. She's going to stop doing that because she doesn't want to be hurt and she doesn't want to be embarrassed. Instead of focusing on the behavior, you should have been focusing on her passion. Obviously, it's beauty, it's makeup. What can I do with that? Instead of telling us, and telling her, beauty ain't S-H-I-T, it's not about looks. Have you not turned on your phone? Do you not know that beauty is a billion-dollar industry? It is everything. It's not that we teach our daughters that it's the number one value, but capitalize on it, monetize it. If she's always on her phone and she's always into beauty and looks, why not teach her how to get a bag with it? Why not teach her how to have an LLC? And you yourself said that you have your own business. This is exactly what I did with my daughter. Let me tell you how serious it was. It was 2 weeks to graduation, and her counselor called me telling me that she's not going to pass. She doesn't have enough credits, even though for the last 2 months of the year, I'm on fair. I'm on my daughter. How are your grades? Let me look at them. Let me see everything. But we get to the last 2 weeks. This girl was skipping class, booking clients. Let me tell you what she was doing. It was still virtual because it was last spring. So they were still on, the camera. And so instead of being on the Zoom with her class, she was booking and putting in wigs and doing braids and twist outs. And so I called her and I FaceTimed her one time. I'm like, your counselor just told me that you're not going to pass. I'm literally FaceTiming her and she's got her hands in somebody's head. And I'm like, girl, you're not going to. And so I went off. Of course I went off. Did I want to put hands? Of course you want to. But let me tell you what I did. I put my hands on this computer and I said, God dog it, we're going to sign you up for a college. You're going straight to cosmetology school. And I incorporated beauty, her passion, with education because you kept stressing education, education. So instead of embarrassing her and humiliating her, you should have sat down with her. And let me tell you what you said. You said something about you getting an attitude and you negative and you not doing this and that. Okay, let's get to the root of it. And then you said she's your twin. Okay, then is it a reflection of what she's seeing? And don't forget, she's a teenager and my daughter was doing the same thing. And so what you have to do is channel that and say, okay, what is the real issue here? And let's see how we can monetize that, capitalize that, and make a profit off of it instead of putting yourself in the position that you put yourself in. Then you said this was one of the hardest things you've had to do. It didn't look too hard. It wasn't the hardest thing you've ever had to do. No, it wasn't. The hardest thing that you have to do is get healed yourself. That's going to be one of the things that you have to work on is getting healed, being healed, because nobody does that to another human being unless there's pain and there's other stuff inside of them. That's the hard thing. It looked pretty easy for you to get on a camera and just cut. That was not the hardest thing you've ever had to do. And so if you're saying that your child, you have no morals and you negative and you have an attitude and all the different things that you were saying that you're dealing with, that's what we want to work on off camera. We don't want to come and deal with symptoms on camera. We need to deal with the root off camera. And parents do it all the time. I'm going to take their phone away. Does that change the behavior? I'm going to do this and they're not going to have video games. Is that going to change behavior? I'm going to, keep this and keep that from them. That's not getting to the root issue. So here's what I did with my daughter, because she had an attitude, and the reason why is because she didn't want to be in school. She didn't want to be in high school. She wanted to just start her trade. So I didn't send her to a 4-year college. You're going straight to cosmetology school. A year and a half later, here we are this year. She just got her cosmetology license, and I'm going to tag her. Y'all can go follow her. She does hair, makeup, and lashes, all that kind of stuff in the Dallas area. So what you should have done, Mom, listen. You say, okay, little girl, you love to do this. You need to graduate. I got you in high school or whatever grade she's in. Let me get you an LLC right now. Let me help you start a business right now. Because I even told my daughter, and she said this morning, she said, Mom, I remember that last year when you told me. I didn't even remember telling her this. She said, you told me you can't do it legally. What you're doing right now, booking all these. She was booking clients, y'all. She had clients while she should have been on the Zoom and camera. She was booking clients. I said, you cannot do that legally. And then if you do something wrong and somebody wants to sue you, you can't do this legally. So why don't you legalize it and then get money? And you know how kids get during their senior year? It was senioritis. She's done. She's tired. She was just not a student. That's just not her thing. And so she finally did graduate. She had to take like 24 classes in 2 weeks online, Edgenuity, whatever they call it. And she made it, barely. But we had some moments where I did want to, because it's like, girl, 18 years, all this hard work, and you can't say, well, I'm a single mom. You can't be throwing it out there because, yes, I'm a single mom. Okay. And I've raised my kids almost all their life as a single mom. Even while I was married, I was single. So you can't throw that out there as you did in the video. I'm a single mom out here trying to do the best I can. We use that term to try to justify our behavior towards our children. We use that statement to try to justify our toxic behavior towards our daughters, towards our children. I'm no longer friends with 2 people because they embarrass their daughters publicly. That is a pet peeve of mine. I can't stand it. That's one of the reasons why. It's one of the main reasons, because when their daughter would come downstairs and maybe their bra strap was showing, oh my God, and just embarrass them and insult them instead of just, while everybody's not looking, or just kind of gradually go tuck it in. Or another one, why are you looking like that? That's why your teacher called and said you were doing this in class. Why would you say that in front of everybody and embarrass your child? I've never, ever embarrassed my kids publicly. I'll send them a text or, oh, girl, your breath. That's just, why? Why are we doing that in front of other people? Because we're projecting. I mean, I know the answer why. I'm just saying. And like you say, I have my own business. So do I. So I got my daughter to get her own business. She is Farrah Styles me, okay? Helping her with LLC, helping her with her money and how to do everything. This is how we redirect our children's behavior and how we stop the cycle of toxicity in our generations, especially Black people. That's what we've done. We've learned that from our history, to beat, to yell, to slap, to punish when behavior is not according to what the leaders want, right? That's what we're used to, but we've got to stop that. Because you're going to lose your daughter. You're going to lose a relationship. Me and my daughter, we are like mini best friends. She's like my little mini best friend, right? So you say you have a business, help her get a business, help her start a business. I guarantee you it's going to motivate her to do her work, her education. It's going to change her attitude. It's going to change everything about her, because that's exactly what happened with my daughter. We may do a video together. That's exactly what happened to her. She shifted and changed her whole personality, her whole being, because she was able to channel all of that into what she loved to do. So obviously the girl loves beauty. Your daughter loves being in makeup and hair. And then you say you're a personal stylist? Come on, don't tell us that beauty ain't SHIT. You're talking about $1 billion industry. No, it's not the values that we teach our daughters, but every time you turn on the camera, it's about booties, boobies, edges, wigs, lashes, skincare. It's all about the beauty. Even the men are getting into that kind of stuff now. So don't say that it's not. Teach her how to monetize and capitalize on it. And let's be honest, most of us moms, we do want to sometimes grab them and put our hands on our daughters, our kids. Sometimes we do, because they just talk back and they just do the things that they do. But because I had healed my stuff, it kept me from doing that with her. And like you said, your mom did some things to you and you started tearing up when you started talking about your mom. I do this for a living. So I'm going to give you just a whole free session. This video is a free session for you. So you started welling up a little bit when you started talking about what your mom did to you. So you know there's something there. My mom wasn't the perfect mom either. And I've had a chance to talk to her and say, hey, mom, I felt like you didn't teach me this. You didn't show me that. And she agreed. She talked. But she can't teach me what she didn't know. So we want to stop that cycle. And it wasn't just last year. I dealt with this 17, when she was 18. I mean, that's what we do. When she was 16, probably, they're teenagers. And here's something that's even more important, Mom. You have to surrender. I had to surrender my daughter and say, you know what? I've done my part. I've talked to the counselor. I've done my part for 18 years. Forget that. Not just the last 2 weeks of high school. And if she fails and if she doesn't pass, that's the lesson you teach her, not turning on TikTok and cutting all her hair off. The lesson you teach her is to let life give them the consequences that they've earned. Let them get the rewards, whether it's a positive type of a reward or something that they don't want. Let life teach them. I didn't pass the 6th grade initially because I was trying to be the class clown the whole year. And my mom, she didn't try to fight to keep me, from failing. Let her butt go to summer school. So I went to summer school, Welch Middle School, and I passed. But you have to let her learn those lessons in that way. And my daughter, I'm like, listen, if you don't graduate, then fine. The lesson you're going to learn is you don't get to graduate with your friends. You're going to have to come back another semester or do summer school, get your GED, and then you're going to feel how life will treat you. Okay? So sometimes the lesson, parents, we have to let them learn it. We have to surrender. Get that girl involved in some classes. Listen. I'm sure you have heard train up a child in the way they should go. And people think, oh, that means train them up in the Lord, get them in church. That means actually to train them up in the way that they are inclined to go. So if you have a baby that's always beating on pots, they end up being drummers. If you have a baby that's always drawing on something, yes, you have to learn how to, navigate and redirect them so they don't draw on your furniture, but maybe they're going to paint. Maybe they're going to be a makeup artist one day. So my daughter felt the need to skip class so she can book clients. So instead of putting my hands down her throat, which crossed my mind, which would never happen, of course. But when you're at the finish line, girl, after everything that we have been through and everything we have overcome, you want to throw the last 2 weeks away. Yes, thoughts come. So instead of doing that, I said, okay, let me get on this computer. I took those hands and I started looking up colleges. I started looking up places where she could attend because I'm like, she's not going to a 4-year. And you don't always have to, because some of the friends that went to 4 years colleges that she had, some of them have dropped out. They failed, not even doing that profession anymore, having babies, different kind of things. No judging. I'm just saying that it's not for everybody. I know what my daughter needed. She was not good at testing, doing any of that. So I got her into school. We were moving here. We just moved here to Dallas last year. And so I said, either she's going to Houston or she's going to Dallas, but she's going to somebody's cosmetology school. And so that's what I did to change that situation around. And this could have turned out much differently for you if you had the wisdom to do that, but not only that, had dealt with the other stuff that's inside of you that you may not realize is there. And I'm coming from a place of help and love. This is what I do. People are dragging you and I understand why. But I just hope you understand why. That there's something that you still have to deal with inside of you where you feel that this is okay. And you felt like as a single mom or as a parent, I'm doing the best that I can. And that was the best that I could do. And it was not. There's something else going on. And so now, instead of arguing and fighting with my daughter about her grades and, oh my gosh, you about to graduate? You're not going to graduate? Instead of going through all of that, our conversations today are about wealth, empires, dynasties, how to make money, and how to set her up if something was to ever happen to me. That's where we are right now. And so I believe that my story could have turned out differently if I would have been acting out of my own trauma and my own toxic past, with my mom or just my upbringing. It could have turned out totally different. And you can still turn this around, I believe, but you just have to admit it. You have to, not be defensive by what people are saying and doing. And you have to really look inside yourself and say, you know what? I need some help, because you do. Reach out to me. And that's not just for her. That's for any mother who's struggling with their daughter and they keep acting out and responding and reacting to their daughters in ways that they know is not good. And then they feel like crap afterwards. And then you try to justify it because people are coming after you. Reach out to me. This was your first session and I go hard. I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell you the truth. And I think I did mention this about the other family where, the daughter was called a pig online. And then she did the exact same thing. A follow-up video. Was you mad that I called you a pig? See y'all, there you go. unhealed, pain, hurt. Same exact thing. There you go, IamDorian.com. Reach out to me. If you are a mother and you're struggling with your teen daughter, I've done sessions with moms and teens, and I've done them with just teens by themselves. So let's do the work. Get on there, get on the site, find you a session that works for you. I have online courses that are going to be rolled out. One, hopefully before the end of the year is out. Then the rest are going to, start rolling out on every and any topic. And we're going to do the work, y'all.